I recently completed my first triathlon, and I want to share my experience, what went well, what didn't go well, and how it compares to the marathon and ultramarathon. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Michael here with the Indoor Training Center. We recently talked about using the whiteboard as a way to motivate you when you need to get over the hump, using that one rule, which is if it goes on the whiteboard, it's done into completion. I want to give a quick shout out to three of my full Ironman friends, Ryan, Bubba, and Justin. Thanks for your encouragement, your motivation, helping me to get this race on the whiteboard, get it done to completion. So I did it. The Des Moines 70.3, aka the half Ironman. I got the t-shirt, got the sweet swag bag, got the finisher's hat, and of course the finisher's medal. And when they gave it to me, I put it on, took a bite, and said, yeah, it's most definitely made of real gold. Let's talk about what went well. Overall, the race, the half Ironman in Des Moines, well organized, well stocked, well run, well marked. It was just a great experience. First time doing a triathlon. This one was a 1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike ride, and then a 13.1 mile run. But was very happy with the way the race was organized. And overall, the volunteers, the fans, everything was just great. Des Moines is actually a really cool city, a lot of outdoorsy stuff going on. So it was just a really neat day. The weather cooperated. It was 75 and overcasty, a little bit of a headwind on the ride and the run, but that's okay. I was mentally preparing for the heat, the humidity. Last year, when Justin was out there running that full Ironman, he had 90 plus degree temps, 90+% humidity. Just overall a pretty rough day. So no complaints. The race, I definitely would recommend it. It was a good time and well done. Next, what went well? I really went in with three main goals. Number one, I wanted to push myself, get outside my comfort zone. Number two, I wanted to finish. And number three, probably the most important goal, I wanted to have fun. And that may sound a little bit weird, but over the last 14 years or so, I've run a bunch of ultra marathons, trail races, road races, all of the above. And somewhere in there, I really lost that joy of competing, that joy of just being out there and really just appreciating the ability to grind, to get after it, to push myself. And so I was really hoping that this race would relight that fire, would help me just enjoy the day, just push myself, be uncomfortable, and have that sense of accomplishment. I did all three. I got out there. I had a blast. I had a smile on my face the entire time and was really just appreciative for that opportunity. My friend Ryan, he told me, he said, I think the half Ironman distance is the perfect distance for me. It's long enough to really push you, but short enough that it's not a total grind. It's not totally grueling. You don't have to commit, half your life to build up, to train for it. And he was absolutely right. I just, like I said, was out there smiling all day, man, giving thanks to God, giving glory to God, out there riding the bike in this perfect weather. I just loved it. And so I'm really happy that I was able to complete and accomplish those three goals that I set out to do. And then third, went well. I finished faster actually than I anticipated. I was thinking that I would finish in that 7.5, maybe even 8 hour time frame. I ended up finishing in 6 hours and 21 minutes, I believe, which I was elated about. The swim went a little bit better than I thought. The bike I definitely rode faster than I anticipated. I think I averaged about 16.8 miles per hour over the 56 miles. Which by triathlon standards and cycling standards is extremely slow. But I was thinking I'd ride about 14 and some change. So again, perfectly happy, all smiles with that bike ride. And then the run, went out there. I think I was in that 9:11 pace. I finished just over 2 hours, 2 hours and a handful of seconds on the half marathon. Each mile, my goal was to get a little bit faster, which I did with the exception of 1 mile. So overall, those things went well. Very happy with the turnout of the half Ironman there in Des Moines. All right, so what didn't go well? Number one, I'd say I ate way too much food. It's been 5 years, 5 long years since I competed. I think I maybe got a little anxious, a little bit too worked up about having enough calories and not wanting to bonk. So 2 days before the race, I carbo loaded, and of course, I had to go to Dairy Queen because A Butterfinger Blizzard is a great form of carbs. And then the night before, carbo loaded again with some pasta, threw in some Parmesan chicken, some Alfredo sauce, and found a Dairy Queen and had another Butterfinger Blizzard. And maybe the fact that I was a little bit, or I am a little bit lactose intolerant, I was pretty bloated those 2 days, bloated going into the race, ate way too much food in the morning, ate way too much food on the bike. And so just really felt bloated and kind of cramped. I had that little side stitch going for a lot of the swim, some of the bike, and definitely for part of the run. But it's just a lesson learned. I mostly ate honey stinger waffles and these nut butter gels. Both of those work perfect for fueling, and then use some salt pills. And if you're interested, I can certainly link that in the description below. So the fuel source was good. I just ate way too much. So lesson learned there. Pipe down, maybe lay off the dairy before the race, and I probably don't need to eat my face full of pasta several nights in a row before the race. Second, what didn't go well on the bike, I had to pee really, really bad, probably about an hour in. And I think I was on the bike for about 3 hours and 20 minutes, I believe. So about an hour in, I had to go pretty bad. And for whatever reason, I didn't want to stop. Maybe I was afraid I was going to lose my mojo. Whatever it was, I just kind of rode through it. It got to be really, 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 really uncomfortable, to the point where I thought I was going to pop. In hindsight, should have stopped, knocked it out at the porta potty, and I think I would have enjoyed most of the rest of the ride. I had fun on the bike, but I certainly I started looking at my watch, looking at the time or the mileage to see when am I going to be done so I can hop off this thing and go find a porta potty and take care of business. So lesson learned there, just go to the bathroom. It's going to take an extra minute or so, but it'll probably be worth it. And then third, what didn't go well, I was really hoping that this event, this race, competing, being out there, would push me or help me relight that fire to do another ultra marathon. So my last race was 5 years ago. I attempted the Cruel Jewel 106-mile race. That's the whole story in of itself. Made it to mile 80, ran out of time, and it was just a really rough experience. To add insult to injury of not finishing, I got poison ivy and was just really, really had some bad itching for like 2 weeks in a row. That was just the reminder of my DNF, my did not finish. So I was hoping this thing would kind of get me in that mindset again. But unfortunately on the run, as soon as I started running, even though that was by far my best event, kind of got into that mindset of grinding, got in the mindset of slogging along, eating my food, drinking my water, taking my salt pills. And it really didn't motivate and inspire me to get out there and attempt another mountain 100-miler. So I guess that's going to have to wait. I'm really hoping at some point that fire gets relit, want to get out there and tackle another 100-mile ultramarathon, but we'll have to see. Time will tell there. All right. So last but not least, just kind of wanted to throw out some thoughts there on how the half Ironman experience compares to the marathon and the ultramarathon experience, because maybe there's one person out there who is kind of curious to see what those are like. Generally speaking, the triathlon community and certainly the Ironman branded race, it feels a lot different than most of the ultra marathons that I ran, but I typically tend to stick to the lower key ones, not the big, overly hyped ones. But there's a lot of fans out there, a lot of support, a lot of aid, a lot of energy, a lot of good stuff going on. So it's just a different environment. It's fun. I would say the Ironman, the half Ironman, it's just fun with all the people out there. But in terms of effort, I've only ran one full marathon, official marathon, the Marine Corps marathon, years ago. And I think I ran about a 3:47, I believe. So I'd say in terms of effort at the end of the race, that final, 13.1 miles in the half Ironman and the final 13.1 miles in the marathon, overall kind of actually felt the same. I think the half Ironman was harder in that it was a longer effort, and then you had to train for 3 disciplines instead of just one. But in that final stretch, when you hit the wall on the run in either race, legs felt about the same. My back hurt. I was ready to be done, and it was really just a grind getting through it. So I would say in terms of effort, a little bit harder than the marathon, but kind of actually felt similar. And then compared to the ultra marathon, ultras range anywhere from typically 31 miles all the way up to 100. And now people are running 200, 240 miles at a pop, which is just insane to me. But I would kind of put this half Ironman in that 50K, 31-mile race, kind of a moderate 50K maybe. I've ran some 50Ks that are easier than the half Ironman, and I've ran a couple of 50Ks that are certainly a lot harder. With, you're looking at 10,000 feet of vertical climbing. You're looking at 10 and a half hours being out there to run those 31 miles. So it's kind of nested right in there, I'd say, as a moderate 50K. So if you want a race that's going to push you, if you want a race that's going to make you train for 3 different disciplines: swimming, biking, and running, I think that half Ironman distance is a perfect distance, a perfect race to look at. If you're an ultra guy and you're thinking about dipping your toes in the water for the triathlon, give it a whirl. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's different, but that change of pace may be good. For me, it was certainly good to get out there, do something different, and just experience a new adventure. At some point in the future, I believe the full Ironman is in the works. I'm going to go ahead and put it on record, put it on the whiteboard. Full Ironman for this guy right here. Don't know when, don't know where, but I certainly want to go out there and experience the triathlon in its fullest glory. With that, guys, if you got any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comment section below. I'd be happy to answer and provide any more insight to the questions that you may have. With that, be blessed, endure, and I pray that whatever God is putting on your heart, that you take the next step.